Hey guys, Thetcglover here. This is going to be a deck profile video of on the Dueling Network. I'm not going to be doing any duels. I'm just going to be showcasing my agent deck. The fact is, I feel like making this video because I know that the next format is going to be quite a diverse one until everyone's actually figured out what decks are actually going to be good. So there's going to be quite a large number of different decks. If you think about last format, there was a very small number of really good decks which actually did well in YCSs. You tend to find the same decks being played, and because of that you had to main accordingly. Obviously during May there was the priority change, so obviously with agents, they basically left the radar sometime back in December when the Banlist came around and basically got rid of Earth and put it back to 1. I'm going to go through the deck explaining the combos and so on of what my deck does and basically how it's not just catered to be Inzektors or Dino Rabbits. It's now actually designed to be able to approach a rogue deck or a diversity that is going to consist of rogue decks or decks that you don't generally play very often and still have a good chance and not feel, oh, I'm drawing too many Veilers or I'm drawing the wrong cards for the situation because imbalances and so on. Okay, so firstly we're going to have the free Shine Balls. This is pretty much standard, as well as free Venus. Use your Venus to get Shine Balls. Shine Balls can make rank 2s, which is fantastic. We have Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning. That's really good card. Tour Guide is at 2, and I am playing with Tour Guides, but I do have Birdman in my deck as well. So it is great for dropping it, and if you basically drop Hyperion and it doesn't go off, you can drop BLS after that, and then they're like, oh god, I've already wasted my resources, and then you basically press for game there. Because Blackluster Soldier is the better boss card compared to Hyperion. Hyperion is just like a kind of slightly worse. It's like a Dark Arm Dragon, but nowhere near as broke. Okay, so Blackluster Soldier is great. So I said 2 Veilers. The reason why I'm playing 2 is, as I said before, the format is changing. The ban list is going to completely get rid of Inzektors, which is the whole reason why they were doing bad in tournaments and they weren't winning, was mainly because of people maining harsh against them. Because if you don't, then you will get beaten by them, and then they will eventually get good. They will top and they will win a YCS. So everybody had to main against them, but Effect Veiler slows down the deck so much that that's the reason why they lost. So with Inzektors gone, Effect Veiler is still great against Rescue Rabbit, against those other stuff, especially Priority gone. But I don't want to run free anymore, mainly because there will be decks like Dark World and Heroes that this card does not do much against. I don't really like to Veiler stuff like Stratus, because Stratus is still good while it's on the field. They can still Super Poly, they can still Miracle Fusion and so on. So Veiler doesn't really do much against the deck, and you can obviously use it against Tour Guide, but still, same thing, you're basically negging yourself. So 2 Birdmen. This is mainly used for the OTK. I will explain it at the end of the video after I finish talking about the cards, but it's another 2 dark targets for BLS, because obviously when it's used for the Xyz summon, I can actually detach it and it goes to the graveyard rather than getting banished. Also, if you haven't noticed, what you can do is you can Tour Guide from the Underworld. Tour Guide gets the other Tour Guide, and then you can bounce the Tour Guide that cannot be used for Synchro Summon for Birdman, and then you can make a rank 3, and then you can use that other Tour Guide, the one in your hand that you just bounced back. You can use that to actually get the other Sangan. So even though Tour Guide is at 2, the actual synergy with Birdman means that you won't actually have to worry about, oh, I haven't got a Tour Guide, or I'm going to draw a dead one, and so on. So it works really well together, and 2 for Birdman is perfect, because on its own it's not very useful. Of course, Gore's the Emissary of Darkness, because you're not running too many traps, and fact is that I love it when I set MST, and then they attack me, thinking, oh, I've got a face down, so I can't Gores, so they're going to overextend. I MST their back row, and then I drop Gores, and they pretty much start to do that. Honest is great, because now with Earth at 2, Earth is much more likely to be on the field, so when it gets attacked you can actually Honest, and then you protect it for a turn, and you can make Catast, or you can use Venus, which you just search with that Earth to make a whole group of cards. Armory Arm with Venus makes it into a 3000 beat stake. It's just like really good. So really good. 2 Tour Guides here and Sangan, as I said before, it really works with Birdman, and there's nothing wrong. I don't feel like I need to run a Tour Bus or Night Assailant or anything. It's just going to start getting dead in my hands. So Book of Moon, Great for flipping down stuff. It's really great for disrupting plays. Really good card overall. The format is going to be slower, so this card, I don't know, maybe even synchros will come back. And Book of Moon was great in that format, you know, in the whole synchro era because of the fact of being able to book down the tuner. Really helps against plants, which is somehow might be making a comeback soon. Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, and 3 MST. I don't need to explain those, I'm not going to. Okay, so 2 Forbidden Lance. I've noticed I put these in my main deck and my actual deck because I was sick of getting my Venus bottomless. You know, I drop it, I go second, I summon it, and then I want to get my Shine Balls out of my deck onto the field and have start actually getting some presence and actually have set up for Hyperion. And the only thing that was stopping me was not having an MST in my hand. Actually, that was the first thing. The second thing was not having an out of bottomless, because I want to have that Forbidden Lance. Because yeah, I mean, it's like even if they follow up torrential with the balls, Venus stays alive, so it's great, and it means like my Honest is live and so on. And obviously with Hyperion, that's just perfect. I don't mind it being a 1900 attacker for the turn, and it means that I can get over anything that BLS on their field and so on. Really great card. But it's not only useful in certain decks. I would not recommend it in every deck because it can be kind of annoying on its own when you haven't got a way to use it. But for big things, with big boss monsters and combo orientated decks, you definitely need to have Forbidden Lances. Heavy Storm, as I said, yeah, great. It's fantastic removal with the MSD. Mind Control, I'm still using it because level 3s are still popular, and I do run Veilers, and I still have a lot of tuner monsters that I can actually use for synchros. 2 Polar Duality, yeah, I was running 1, but I wanted to fill up space because I took out the TG engine, and I now want to run 2. When agents were popular, when they were popular back in the September 2011 format, Duality was played at 2 in the deck, and it was the best way, because you do get that Duality to get Agent Earth, or use it to get the combo pieces that you need to make the OTK. And it's great just for all round, like once you've got field presence, you can just put the Duality in and you can, you know, fortify your defenses, basically. Compulsory, it's a great card to deal with rogue decks. You can bounce anything, it's not specific to, you know, it's not like bounce a card and it gets special summoned again, it's like completely useless. You know, it's like it just works against so many different decks, and obviously against Xyz and Synchro decks it works the best because you can just put them back in the extra deck. You got the Solemn Brigade because we're going to play this deck properly just like every other deck. It's still great for negating stuff. I don't have to worry about life points. I mean, Venus has to pay 1500 to get the balls on the field, but apart from that, there's no problem. Torrential Tributes, definitely have to run those at 2. And as you notice, I'm not running Mirror Force, but I'm running Bottomless. I still like that kind of like they summon a Grapher and I bottomless and I don't have to worry about it because Mirror Force does nothing against Dark World. It does not really much against heroes either. That's pretty much my reasoning behind it. Okay, so now that I've explained the deck in about 8 minutes, or 8 minutes and 45 seconds, I'm going to quickly go over the OTK. Okay, so now that Hidden Arsenal 6 is out, we now have Daigusto Phoenix. It was a rank 2 that requires 2 level 2 monsters. What you have to do is you have Agent of Creation Venus, you have Birdman, and you have Hyperion in your hand. Provided that your opponent has no back row, because obviously they're going to stop you because they're not stupid. But I don't know, if they do, then Hyperion can pop something in the way. Okay, so Venus comes on the field first, that's your normal summon. You pay 1500 life points to get the 3 Shine Balls from your deck. Or your hand, whatever they are, doesn't matter. Now that you have a Venus and you have the 3 Shine Balls, you bounce one of the Shine Balls to summon Birdman from your hand. So now you have a Shine Ball in your hand. You pay another 500 to make it 2000, and it puts the other Shine Ball on the field. Now you synchro Venus, Birdman, and Shine Ball to you put it together to make a level 8, which would be Stardust Dragon, and then you use the other 2 Shine Balls to make Daigusto Phoenix. And now you have a Hyperion in your hand, you drop Hyperion, and if you have to, use its effect to destroy a card on the field, make it a monster or something like that, I don't know. So basically, you activate Daigusto Phoenix's effect by detaching a material from that card to target one face-up wind monster you control, which would be a Stardust Dragon, and it can attack twice during this turn's battle phase. So it can smack your opponent directly for 5000, this thing hits for another 1500, making for 6500, 1500, and then you have to get another 1500 damage, which you have a Hyperion on the field, and it gets game. So out of 3 cards in your hand, you can do the OTK, and with stuff like Duality, you can set up your hand much easier, and stuff like Sangan as well, it can be very useful to get that Birdman, which is what I tend to get for, and Veilers and stuff and so on. Okay, so for my extra deck, it's not completely finished, but it's only because there's not really much else to put in, because I was running rank 4s, but I realised that I don't actually need to. The only level 4 that I'm actually going to be playing is Honest and Armory Armor. I don't really want to use either of those for an Xyz summon anyway. So, yeah. So I have Catasta for Effect Veiler and Honest, or Effect Veiler and a meme, and if I reborn their monster. I can also use Birdman and a Shine Ball, which is more likely, because it puts both of the cards in the graveyard for BLS. I have Armory Arm, which is used for, I have a lot of level 3s, so I can use Veiler, and I can use Earth with a Shine Ball to make Armory Arm, which tends to happen quite a lot. I just put in Gaia Knight now. It was either that, Iron Chain Dragon, or Orient Dragon. Gaia Knight is basically really good right now because of its attack. I mean, if you look at Gem Knight Pearl, its ability to get over Shien, ability to get over Utopia, force it to use its materials, so many different things that are 2500, 2400. You want to have Gaia Knight to get over anything, and they're going to be forced into using removal, just as if you have a Dolk on your field or something like that. They'll be forced into using removal to get rid of it, and it's just a 1/2 and a 1/2 monster with no effect. So it's really good at wasting their resources. I use that with Birdman and Venus, which is pretty good. Or Tour Guide the Underworld, get the other Tour Guide, then bounce for Birdman. Birdman does all this crazy stuff. It's great. Obviously, as I said, Stardust Dragon, Daigusto Phoenix for the OTK. We have Getchi, of course, because it still makes Phoenix a 2000 attack. That's just so good. A normal summon at 2000, and it's a 2200 wall. It's a perfect first turn. Levia the Sea Dragon. I actually have one of these now in Ultimate, so I'm quite happy. Traded some Hornets for it, so I was like, lol. Yeah, so Levia the Sea Dragon, really, really great for when Birdman gets banished, or when your Sangan gets banished, or anything like that, or when you just banish stuff with Hyperion and BLS, you can just bring it back, and it allows you to do some more combos. Obviously, if Venus gets bottomless, then you can Tour Guide the next turn and get the monster, get Venus back, and then do the combos. Levier goes up to 2200 when there's Gachi on the field. Moves within the Stranger Djinn. Yeah, I ran this card because I live in the UK, so I can't use Acid Golem. It's not legal yet. So this card, when it attacks an opponent's monster, you can attach a material from it, and a Djinn monster you control gains double its attack points. So this card goes up to 3000, so it allows it to go toe to toe with BLS. It allows it to get over any boss monster I want. So it's really great for finishing the game or something like that if they have a Tour Guide on their field, like they've got little life points. Leviathan Dragon is great for just getting over things, and it puts pressure, just like Gaia Knight. It's just basically a vanilla in the sense of what it does, and it forces your opponent to get rid of use cards to get rid of it. Giga Brilliant, it's a light target for BLS, just as everything as it always been. You will Tour Guide into Tour Guide, get Giga Brilliant, and then Giga Brilliant will be that light target once it dies, and then BLS in your hand, which is in your first turn opening hand, gets to come into the field without any agent's help. Temtempo the Percussion Djinn. Now with Zen Mains being a super rare, this card is even better than it used to be, and it becomes a 2700 attacker once you've detached all of its materials, and it's just fantastic. Zen Mains is like, you pretty much have to run it now that if you have a Tour Guide, even though it's a sticker super, you might as well. And with stuff like Forbidden Lance, it doesn't die very easily. So yeah, that's pretty much my discussion on the deck. I still feel like it could do some tweaking, but I feel like it's pretty much at its best. And this has got the potential to do really well in tournaments. Of course, it depends on your side deck. I don't really know what to put in my side deck right now, but I'm pretty sure just standard things. Yeah, so I hope you guys were interested in watching. I will be going to my locals on Friday, so if I can, I might do a deck profile. Depends. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and Thetcglover out.